Listen closely to what I'm about to tell you now. You're on the verge of discovering a secret that only 3% of men know. It's like having a master key that opens any door, even those that seem completely locked. You know that feeling when you talk to a woman and she barely looks at you, of feeling invisible, like you're just another face in the crowd. Today, that ends, because you're going to learn to be like a master sculptor who transforms any raw stone into a masterpiece. It doesn't matter if she's on her phone talking to her friends or showing zero interest. You're going to completely turn the tables. But first, let me ask you a question. How many times have you given up on a woman because she seemed uninterested? How many opportunities have you lost because you didn't know how to reverse that cold first impression? It's painful, I know. You approach, try to strike up a conversation, and she responds with one-word answers. Or worse, doesn't even respond. And then you go home feeling like a failure, questioning your worth, your appearance, everything. With each rejection, your confidence dwindles a little more. You start to hesitate before approaching. You start overthinking, and eventually you just stop trying. Can you feel that pain now? But what if I told you that her disinterest isn't a wall, but a door, and that you have the key to open it? That's exactly what I'm going to teach you today. Because after 10 years of studying the psychology of attraction and helping hundreds of men, I've discovered patterns that almost no one notices. Patterns that transform disinterest into curiosity, curiosity into attraction, and attraction into irresistible desire. Look, the truth is, most guys give up too soon. They see the first sign of disinterest and retreat. But you won't be like that, because you're going to understand something fundamental about female nature that few men grasp. Women test, always. Initial disinterest is often just a shield, a protection against the thousands of guys who approach with nothing of value to offer. And when you understand that, everything changes. Now, I'm going to give you 5 magnetic techniques that will transform any situation of disinterest. These are ultra-rare methods that work because they engage with the deep psychology of attraction, not against it. First technique, the invisible radar. Every woman has an internal radar that detects desperation from miles away. When you approach needing her approval, that radar immediately goes off. It's like a silent alarm that screams danger. That's why the first thing you need to do is turn off that alarm. How? By completely changing your approach energy. Instead of approaching wanting something from her, you approach offering value. It's a subtle but powerful shift. Imagine you're at a party. You see that beautiful woman in the corner, on her phone. Most guys would approach trying to impress her, trying to make her like them. But not you. You approach with the energy of someone who's there to have a good time, and she can join if she wants to. You comment on something about the environment, make a funny observation about the music. Anything except complimenting her appearance or showing obvious interest. You're creating a pressure vacuum. And studies show that when there's no pressure, people naturally open up more. Does that make sense to you? Remember, you're not there to win anyone over. You're there to live your life, and she can be a part of it if she deserves to. This shift in mindset is fundamental because when you don't need, you become magnetic. Second technique, the push-pull dance. This is one of the most powerful secrets out there. It's like a dance where you advance and retreat at the right moment, creating a delicious tension that leaves any woman intrigued. It works like this. You show interest, then pull back. You get close, then create distance. It's a psychological game that activates the same reward centers in the brain that are activated in gambling. For example, you're talking to her. The conversation is flowing well. Suddenly you look at your phone and say, you need to take care of something. You step away for a few minutes. When you come back, she's more receptive. Why? Because you created scarcity. You showed that your attention is valuable and not always available, and the human brain values what it might lose more than what it has guaranteed. But be careful. The push-pull needs to be natural, not forced. If it seems like a game, she'll notice, and you'll lose all credibility. The key is to genuinely have other things going on in your life. Other interests, other people to talk to, other goals. Can you visualize how this works? Now pay attention to this. When you master push-pull, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability is one of the most attractive qualities there is, because the female brain is programmed to pay attention to what it can't fully decipher. Third technique, the reverse emotional mirror. This technique is so powerful that almost no one applies it correctly. Most men try to mirror the woman's emotions. If she's happy, they're happy. If she's distant, they become anxious. But you're going to do the opposite. You're going to lead the emotional state, not follow. When she's distant, you become even more relaxed. When she's serious, you become playful. It's as if you're on a different frequency that she needs to tune into. Imagine the scene. She's clearly uninterested, answering your questions with short replies. Most guys would get nervous, try to talk more, ask more questions, but not you. You smile, make a joke about how she must be having the worst day ever to be so lively. You transform the negative energy into something light and fun, and suddenly she can't maintain her distant posture because you're not playing the game she expected. Studies of nonverbal communication show that whoever leads the emotional frame controls the interaction, and when you control the interaction, you become irresistible, because you're demonstrating an unshakable confidence that few men possess. Do you see the difference? But there's a crucial detail here. You're not pretending to be relaxed, you genuinely are, because you understand that the outcome doesn't matter. If she's interested, great. If not, that's great too. You have abundance in your life. Fourth technique, the infinite curiosity trigger. The human brain can't resist a mystery. That's why people binge-watch series until the early hours, needing to know what happens in the next episode. You're going to use that same principle to create attraction. Instead of telling her everything about yourself all at once, you reveal information bit by bit. You mention something interesting and then change the subject. You start a story and then pause in the middle to ask her something about herself. For example, you're talking about travel. You mention that you had a bizarre experience in Barcelona, but instead of telling her immediately, you ask if she's ever traveled to Europe. She'll want to know about the bizarre experience, but you don't tell her yet. You're planting seeds of curiosity that will germinate in her mind. And the more seeds you plant, the more she'll want to discover who you really are. It's like a puzzle she needs to put together. Wake up, man, this isn't manipulation. It's intelligent communication. You're creating an engaging narrative instead of just dumping information like a robot, and women love a good story. Do you feel how powerful this is? The secret is to always leave something hanging, always have more to reveal, because the moment she knows everything about you, the mystery ends, and with it, a large part of the initial attraction. Fifth technique, the pursuer inversion. This is the most counterintuitive technique of all. Instead of you pursuing her, you create situations where she pursues you. How? By completely changing the power dynamic. Most men put the woman on a pedestal from the very first moment. They act as if she's the prize and they have to prove their worth. But you're going to completely reverse that. You're going to act as if you are the prize. Not arrogantly, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth. You're going to ask qualifying questions. You're going to demonstrate standards. You're going to show that you don't just accept anyone. For example, she mentions that she likes to travel. Instead of saying you like it too, you ask what the most transformative experience she's had while traveling was. If she gives a generic answer, you show slight disappointment. You expected more depth. Suddenly she's trying to impress you. She's proving her worth to you, not the other way around. And this activates a powerful psychological mechanism called emotional investment. The more she invests, the more she values. Can you see the shift in energy? But here's the trick. You actually need to have standards. It can't be an act. You need to genuinely be evaluating if she's compatible with you, not just if she's pretty, because beauty without substance is empty. Now I'm going to tell you about the IMA framework that ties all of this together. Intrigue is the first part. It's about creating conversational hooks that make her want to know more. You don't hand everything over on a silver platter. You create gaps that her brain will want to fill. Like when you mentioned you almost got arrested on a trip, but then changed the subject. Does that make sense so far? Movement is about keeping the energy flowing. Conversations die when they become stagnant. So you change topics, change environments, change energy. You take her to get a drink, then to the balcony, then to dance. Each change creates a new shared experience. Authenticity is what seals everything. Because ultimately, techniques are just tools. What really matters is for you to be genuine in your expression, not trying to be someone you're not, but being the best version of yourself. Remember this. Authenticity isn't being you without a filter. It's being you with mastery. It's expressing your personality in a calibrated and attractive way. It's being true to yourself but also socially intelligent. Now let me tell you a real story that happened to me a few months ago. I was at a bar in São Paulo. The place was packed, loud music, that typical smell of beer and perfume mixed in the air. I saw a woman at the bar, completely engrossed in her phone, clearly creating a barrier against any approach. Most guys wouldn't even try. Those who did would probably approach with some generic compliment or a ready-made pickup line, but I applied exactly what I taught you here. I walked up to the bar to order a drink, completely relaxed. I didn't even look directly at her. When the bartender took a while, I commented out loud, but to myself, that the guy must be making the drink from scratch, planting the barley and everything. She laughed, couldn't help it, and I continued ignoring her, focused on my order. When I finally ordered, I asked if she recommended anything, but with a tone of someone who genuinely didn't care much about the answer. She recommended a drink. I ordered a completely different one. She was intrigued. Why ask if I wasn't going to follow the recommendation? I explained that I like to know people's preferences because it says a lot about them, but ultimately, I always follow my intuition. Do you see what happened? I planted a seed of curiosity, demonstrated independence, and created micro-tension. Within 15 minutes, she was the one asking me questions. Within an hour, we exchanged numbers, and she suggested it. That's turning the tables, man. But now you might be thinking, isn't this manipulation? Am I not being fake? And that's a valid objection I need to address now. Listen up. Manipulation is when you deceive someone to get something for your own benefit, harming the other person. What I'm teaching you is high-level communication. It's about learning to express your value in a way that resonates with the feminine. Think of it this way. A great chef isn't manipulating when he presents food beautifully on a plate. He's maximizing the experience. You're not deceiving anyone. You're learning to communicate more effectively and attractively. In fact, you're doing her a favor too, because when you're interesting, confident, and mysterious, you provide a rich emotional experience. You pull her out of the boredom of routine. You offer adventure, excitement, possibility. Do you understand the difference now? And there's more. When you master these techniques, you don't need to use all of them with every woman. Sometimes a genuine connection happens naturally, but you have the tools for when you need them. It's like knowing how to fight. You don't go around hitting everyone, but the confidence of knowing you can defend yourself changes your posture in the world. Now I'm going to give you some signs to recognize when she's starting to turn the tables. First, she starts asking more personal questions. Not polite questions, but questions that show genuine interest. Where you live, what you do, who you live with. She's mapping out your life. Second, her body starts to orient itself in your direction. Even if she still seems verbally distant, her feet point towards you, her torso leans in when you speak. The body doesn't lie. Third, she starts finding excuses to touch you. A touch on the arm when she laughs, a playful nudge when you make a joke. Touch is intimacy, and intimacy is the first step towards physical attraction. Can you identify these signs? Fourth, she starts mirroring your movements. You pick up your glass, she picks hers up. You cross your arms, she crosses hers. It's an unconscious sign of rapport and connection. Fifth, she starts qualifying herself to you. She mentions her qualities, her achievements, her values. She wants you to approve of her. The dynamic has completely reversed. But here's an important warning. Don't go looking for these signs obsessively. Because when you're hunting for signs, you step out of the present moment. And presence is fundamental for attraction. Just be aware. Notice without chasing. Observe without anxiety. Because the more relaxed you are, the more naturally everything will flow. Now let's talk about the fatal mistakes you need to avoid. First mistake, confessing feelings too soon. Nothing kills attraction faster than a guy declaring love on the third conversation. Emotions need to be built gradually, not dumped all at once. Second mistake, always being available. If she calls you and you're always able, always free, always respond immediately, you don't have a life of your own, and men without a life of their own aren't attractive. Third mistake, trying to buy her attention. Expensive gifts, extravagant dinners, obvious attempts to impress with money. This only attracts the wrong type of woman and repels the ones who are worth it. Does that make sense to you? Fourth mistake, agreeing with everything she says. You're not a doormat, have your own opinions, disagree when necessary, debate ideas. Intellectual tension can be very attractive. Fifth mistake, neglecting your own life to focus on her. Your mission, your goals, your dreams should always come first. She's a complement to your amazing life, not the center of it. And the most fatal mistake of all, not believing that you deserve incredible women. Because if you don't believe it, no technique in the world will work. Belief needs to come first. I'm going to tell you a secret now. The most beautiful women are often the loneliest. Why? Because most men are afraid to approach them. And the ones who do approach are usually the worst, the most desperate or arrogant. When you approach with genuine confidence, without putting her on a pedestal but also without arrogance, you immediately stand out. You're the different guy she's been waiting for. The one who doesn't fawn over her but also doesn't treat her poorly. Can you see the opportunity here? And there's something else almost no one realizes. Her initial disinterest is often a defense mechanism. She's been hurt before. She's already invested in guys who weren't worth it. So she creates this barrier to protect herself. When you understand this, you stop taking it personally. You understand it's not about you, it's about her past experiences. And with patience and skill you can help her lower those defenses. But never force it, never pressure. Let it happen naturally, because real attraction cannot be forced. It needs to be cultivated, like a plant. You plant the seed, water it, give it sun, but you can't pull on it to make it grow faster. Now I'm going to share a bonus technique that is absolutely magnetic, the emotional contrast technique. You create contrasting emotional experiences in short periods. Humor followed by seriousness, lightheartedness followed by depth, proximity followed by distance. For example, you're laughing about something silly. Suddenly you get serious and make a profound observation about life. Then you go back to humor. This emotional roller coaster is addictive. Her brain will associate you with intense and varied emotions. Do you feel the power of that? But use it in moderation. If you overdo it, you'll seem bipolar. The secret is to create these contrasts naturally, following the flow of the conversation, like a maestro who knows when to speed up and when to slow down the music. Always remember, you're not trying to convince anyone to like you. You're presenting yourself in the best possible way and allowing chemistry to happen or not. Not every woman will be attracted to you, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, it's better that way, because you don't want just any woman. You want the right woman. The one who resonates with your energy, who complements your life, who adds value beyond physical beauty. So be selective. Have standards. Don't accept just anyone just because she's pretty. Evaluate character, values, compatibility, because physical attraction without emotional and intellectual connection is empty and temporary. Can you understand this? And here's a hard truth. If you're always getting rejected, the problem might not be the techniques. It might be that you need to work on yourself first. Your physical fitness, your hygiene, your style, your career, your hobbies. The techniques I've taught you are powerful, but they amplify who you already are. If you don't have anything interesting going on in your life, no technique will solve that. So invest in yourself first. Develop genuine passions. Have interesting stories to tell. Build a life you love. And then, when you meet women, you won't be trying to impress. You'll just be sharing who you already are. And that, my friend, is irresistible. Listen closely to what I'm going to say now. The world is full of mediocre men who give up at the first sign of difficulty, who accept the first rejection as final, who don't understand the subtle dance of attraction. But you're not one of them anymore. You now have knowledge that few possess, tools that can transform any interaction. The question is, will you use it? Or will you let this information die in theory? Because knowledge without action is useless. You can watch 1,000 videos, read 1,000 books, but if you don't go out and practice, nothing changes. Transformation happens in action, not in endless preparation. So here's my challenge for you. Today, apply at least one technique you've learned. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today, go to a place, any place where there are people, and practice. Even if it's just the invisible radar changing your approach energy. Do you feel the urgency here? Because every day that passes without you mastering these skills is a day of lost opportunities, of unmade connections, of unlived experiences. And time doesn't come back, man. But also, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Learning attraction is like learning to drive. At first, you think about every movement. Then, everything becomes automatic, natural. So be patient with the process. And remember the sculptor metaphor. Every interaction is an opportunity to hone your skill. Even rejections are valuable because they teach you what doesn't work. There is no failure, only feedback. So, quickly recapping, you learned the invisible radar so you don't seem desperate, the push-pull dance to create tension, the reverse emotional mirror to lead the frame, the infinite curiosity trigger to plant seeds, the pursuer, inversion to change the dynamic. You understood the IMA framework. Intrigue to create hooks, movement to maintain fluidity, authenticity to be genuine yet calibrated. Now you have the tools, the knowledge, the power to transform any interaction, to turn the tables even when she's not interested, to become the magnetic man who attracts naturally. The question is, what are you going to do with this power? If this content resonated with you, if you felt something shift in your perspective, do this now, before you forget. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, because there's a lot more transformative knowledge coming your way. And always remember, you're not just another guy trying to pick up women. You're a master sculptor, transforming every interaction into a work of art, polishing each moment until you reveal the extraordinary connection that can exist. The game has changed. You have the rules. Now it's time to play.